Hari Om.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste to everyone.
Gurubhyo Namah, Guruji.
Hari Om.
नमस्ते गुरुजी।
हरि ओम।
Gajananam Buddha Ganadi Sevitam Kapita Jambu Falasara Bhakshitam Umasutam Shoka Vinasha Karanam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Yes, Kishore ji. Yes, Sridevi.
हरि ओम गुरुजी।
Okay. Hari Om to everyone. So let's start. Kishore ji, I think you have some horoscope to discuss, right?
I have two horoscopes. Both are connected,
Both are interrelated. Okay.
interrelated, and both are actually different. At the same time, there is something in that in those two charts which are difficult to comprehend. But it will be interesting as case studies because both of them show similar significations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Two different people, almost like astro twins type.
Yeah, Lagna will change, but the
Okay.
life story for these people is almost similar.
Similar. Okay.
Almost. And best part is that both of them get connected actually at one point in time.
And they're not born at the same time.
No, there's a 10-year gap.
10-year gap. Okay.
Yeah. So one thing is we see the parallels in their lives, and we also see the way how they connect with each other and create something.
Okay.
I would say. So how do we start this? Shall we start with the one chart, the first chart that I did chronologically?
Yeah. And then I hope you'll reveal the gender, right?
It's a male. Both are males.
Both are males. Okay.
Both are males. Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll first start with the screen share of the D1 Navamsha
Okay.
and house chart, if that is the preferred way to go.
Okay.
And okay.
We'll start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Without much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we'll try to do, we'll cover a lot of ground in shorter possible time.
Okay.
Just a second.
I'm now having a steady stream of horoscopes to, for discussion for future coming
Okay.
from various students. So they started sending me emails.
Okay.
And we have a special email for email ID for this.
Okay.
I mean, just to let people, we hope to use this email ID only for research. So I'm just typing it, info at astroekdk.com. Simple, right? Info at astroekdk.com.
Okay.
Gautam is taking care of it. Okay, shall we start now?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. As usual, we'll follow the same format. Raise your hand and wait for your turn to speak. Okay. If there are no hand raise, okay, even then you just raise your hand, wait for a few seconds and then start.
So this is a chart of a male.
Okay.
And I would like to suggest the astrologers to take a look at the chart and see if they need something. I can show it to them.
So we have D1 and then Navamsha, Himsho Tridasha. What is the last one? Again, D1?
This D1 is actually different. I use it for my purposes.
Okay.
It has something known as Tara Balam. So let me
Oh.
change it to something else.
Okay. Below we have Sarvashtaka Varga. D10 we have. Is the topic connected to career or marriage or children, anything like that? Or we have to...
Broadly, we'll be looking at the career and profession
Okay.
and wealth and
Livelihood.
wealth
Wealth.
and wealth. Yeah,
Okay.
and we'll be touching upon the marital life and the children
Okay.
later. So if anybody wants to talk about livelihood, profession, wealth.
He has like Bhadra Yoga, Kishorji. So definitely like he is in a good position. At least like in his career wise.
There are beginners in the class, so if you could explain what is Bhadra Yoga.
Bhadra Yoga is like it happens for except like sun and moon, and if they are in the own house, the remaining planets, like if they are in the own house or in exalted like in Kendras, then we have like all these Panchamahaprusha yogas, and one of them like for Mercury it is going to be Bhadra Yoga. So first Lord, it is in the own house of like Kendra, which is in 10th house.
Okay.
And what will be the outcome of that?
Definitely, I don't think like how there will be like any career issues for this person.
I notice a peculiarity that ascendant degree is 8 degrees and sun is on the same degree 8 in the 10th house.
So is he a government employee, Kishorji?
Not directly.
Okay.
In fact, I wouldn't call him as a government employee.
Yeah, maybe because like sun is like his 12th Lord.
Karthik says, did the person move away from his homeland due to work? And please take some time to just extend on that. At least even if it is not right, don't bother. Just type out what may be the astrological reason. You see something in the 12th house. Is that why you said that, or something else? Combinations, yogas, something. Okay. So whenever you make a statement, don't worry, even if it is wrong. You just say, I think this planet is in this house. That's how we all learn, okay? If you simply say, is it this, then that's quite unscientific approach. Don't you agree with me?
Yes, Guruji.
Is this person like wealthy, Kishorji? Because 11th and 2nd house connection.
Yeah. So please type it out, Sri Devi ji. That is a very big 11th Lord, because in this Lagna, this moon and sun, they are the only ones who own the 11th and the 12th house. So this 11th Lord coming to 2nd seems to be a big impact on the native. That is one clue we got here. Okay. Let's see if somebody else.
And in order to, to continue with that wealthy thing, 2nd Lord in 8th house, that is like another clue, which is like abundant land.
Okay. Please type that out. Actually, today's charts are also going to be an eye-opener on the way we stack up points and come to the truth in the charts, So Guruji always says that we have to stack up. And most of the time we go by just dogmatic principles like 6, 8, and 12 are Dusthanas and all that. But we also should be aware there are exceptions in these cases. This is an example today of how the exception is going to overrule normal dogmatic principles.
Kishorji, 2 years back, did this person pledge or buy a property? Do you have idea on that?
I'll answer that shortly, Manojji.
I'm very specific
Pledge,
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have pledged a property 2 years back, or he would have bought a property.
Why is that?
Sir, there is one new technique I'm learning. So based on that, the transit over Jupiter, Saturn, this person would have gone to the register office 2 years back.
Wow.
Okay. So does it mean, Manojji, that this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is actually a big deal?
Yes, it is one of the big combination for becoming a registrar.
Register?
Yeah.
You mean
So-
registrar office?
Yeah. There is so something related. So when Saturn transits over that Jupiter-Saturn, there is a high probability he would have pledged a property.
No.
But you asked?
I fail to understand this. Is it that the person's livelihood will be he's a registrar?
For a professional side, it is one of the combination for becoming a registrar.
What do you mean Jupiter and Saturn together?
Yes, sir.
But that's a rare profession, right? It's a rare position.
For becoming a registrar, you should have a connection of Jupiter and Saturn, sir. So
Well,
in
I
this
have
chart,
it in my horoscope.
it is combined here, but the thing is when the transit over the Jupiter and Saturn happens, there is a high probability you will either buy a property or pledge a property. Sir, I think even in your case it worked.
Yeah, I purchased a property, correct?
Manojji, but what you say can have a lot of coloring to it or implications to it or what you can modifications to it, right? So would you like to give some additional supporting clues on that?
I'm still exploring that, Kishore ji. Okay, so
Okay,
I just quoted a basic thing, but I'm still trying to correlate a lot of things. If you know this person's family, for sure there should be somebody with the name of Ram starting. Their family name will have somebody named Ram.
How do you use this for foreign places where
Sir,
people know?
that is where we have to try, sir. It is going to be a hard one.
Okay, that's a good point, because we can say that it works in India like this, but we do not know.
Sir, if it is specifically South India, we can say that this person's family will have Ramakrishnan, Ramalingam, Nadarajan, Chidambaram. But when it comes to overall India, there is a high probability the person's name will have Ram. I did a consultation just 1 hour back, sir, for somebody who came through somebody else.
Okay.
And they had the same combination. And I asked whether their family had a name starting with Ram. She said that her father's name is Ramdev.
Oh. Maybe in foreign countries, the Ra might still be there, or is it only Ram and not Ra?
We should try, sir. At least we should check with multiple people's chart. But
okay, in different nations.
Yeah,
okay, in different languages. Okay.
Yeah. Though it might not sound very similar, but for example, there was one more combination where that person's name should contain, like, the question that I asked the person was, the first person who gave you a job, was his name Subramani, but he was from North India. Okay, that was a question I should ask him. But I know pretty sure in North India that Subramani is not going to be there. But you know what answer he gave? He said the first person who gave him the job her name was Annie.
Annie, okay.
So that ending sound, at least it's coming. But it is going to be, it's just need to be explored, sir.
Okay. Okay, but at least the takeaway today, takeaway in this, what you just now spoke, is that when Jupiter and Saturn is together in a horoscope, and when Saturn goes over that sign, you will register a land. You go to the registration office.
Most probably it will be registered, sir. But if it is going to be both are malefic, then I think so there might be possibilities to pledge.
Okay. Manojji, actually, what you say, since I know the chart, the native, not personally, but what you say has some sort of truth in it, but I will not reveal exactly what it is, but it will be connected with what you said just now.
Okay.
Yeah. Is Gautam here in this?
Yes, Kishore.
Tell me, Kishore, is this person from South India?
No, not at all, Manojji.
Okay.
Okay. So
yes,
first,
yes,
Gautamji. So the first link the first clue that we got was from Sridevi ji, who said there's a connection between the 11th and the 2nd. And second clue we got is from Monoji, who said there is a conjunction of Saturn, Jupiter, which bodes some significations of either buying property or pledging property. And so these are the two important points that we have got till now. And is there anything else in the chat that I'm missing?
Also,
Um,
Guruji point out that Sun and
Ah,
the Sun
third point.
as a 12th Lord is in the 10th house exile on the Bhava Madhya.
Exactly.
There are beginners who may not know what is Bhava Madhya. Bhava Madhya means an equal system. If any graha is in the same as the ascendant degree, we consider it as very significant.
Can we take +5 and -5 on either side to be also equally?
Yeah, at least it is closer to Bhava Madhya, but whenever you see something so exact, then we ought to give some importance to that.
Okay.
Is he from a family of doctors?
Let me check that.
And meanwhile, Mardini has typed out, second from Arudha Lagna has Venus and 11th from Arudha has Saturn in his own house and Jupiter debilitated but Nichabanga, plus Moon in second from Ascendant. This person has to be wealthy, I think. And I think he's engaged by leading or elite people or expert consultation, not directed for public or normal people. So that's what he has said, right? Can you see the last chat?
Yes. So second from Arudha Lagna. Okay.
Yeah.
As Venus. Okay.
Mardini has attended courses from big gurus of astrology. So I think it's referring to Arudha Lagna. I mean, this is there in Parashar Horashastra itself.
There is this Banga, Nicha Banga of Jupiter, by the way, that if anybody was looking at Jupiter debilitated, then it is having a Nicha Banga, which was correctly pointed by Mardini, right?
Yeah.
Hello, good evening. Yeah, this is what I mean, that second from Arudha has Venus, and 11 from Arudha Lagna, it has Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn, it's in own house. So I think this can support his wealth. And if we see to his ascendant, it has Mars and Rahu in the 12th house from the ascendant and Moon in the second house. So he has the ability to engage with elite people, or he has something doing for government or for elite people. I think his work is not directed to normal people, but to elite people or expert people. So
no, was that connection because of Mars Rahu in the 12th? Was that statement coming from Mars Rahu in the 12th?
Yes, Mars Rahu. So he has something related to properties, lands, and he has Moon in the second from ascendant, plus Moon in the nakshatra of Mars. So I think his work related to some expertise. He is not working with normal or with public. Plus, if we see the houses from Arudha Lagna support that this native can be wealthy.
Has to be wealthy, you're saying. Okay.
So
above average.
That's a strong statement, right?
Meanwhile, before that, somebody did say, yeah, second lord in the 8th is abundant land and wealth, right? Yeah, okay. We have to consider that that's straight from BPHS, right? Lord's houses in different houses.
And did this person return from a foreign country?
Return?
Yeah. He visited and he came back after some time.
Yeah, that could be possible. And moreover, once that I gave a clue that it's a wealthy chart, obviously there is the chance of
it would have been for a span of time he would have gone and then he would have returned back. He would have not stayed there. Is there something like that?
Okay. This question also I will keep in mind and I will answer once the truth is revealed. There are two things I have to answer you, right, Manojji? One was about visiting the registrar office. The other is this one, right? Yeah.
And Sudhir mentions the third lord in 12th, native will get fortune through wife, straight from BPHS. Fortunate because of a female or because of wife, or maybe because of spouse. Okay. I mean, that's
And
the,
also
Yeah.
youngest in his family.
he's the youngest in the family.
Sorry, elder in the family. If he is youngest, like there is no happiness through elder brother due to ninth lord in eighth. And there are flaws to this chart, which is ninth lord in eighth, sixth lord in fifth, even though it is in own house.
These are the points that actually caught me eye because I was looking at those principles and wondering how it plays out in this native's life. But in fact, the reason why I wanted to show this as a demonstration of how sometimes charts can be misread with just single rules coming up strongly, you know. And then that's the reason why most of the time we actually are not able to go with accurate predictions. So
There are two things. Prediction is different from reading a chart. Okay?
yes,
Okay. We can read a chart without giving a prediction. And we can give predictions without reading the chart, meaning we are not reading the chart as a whole, but only answering a question.
so this is more of a holistic analysis, and we are
Okay.
trying to find one area of life which is really significant, and we are finding whether it is coming up in multiple strengths or multiple charts. So has anybody looked at the Dashamsha and the Navamsha? Did anything catch your eye?
Yeah, the Samsa, like 10th house is occupied by Ketu. I have seen the charts earlier. Most of the times, like if Ketu is in 10th house, it is like they do the business like rather than like doing a regular job, 9 to 5 jobs.
So you mean to say he runs a business, not
Yeah, not conclude like without really analyzing like 3rd house, 6th house, 10th and 11th houses together. I'm saying that is like one of the significations of a business person.
Moon is Vargottama in all three charts, D1, D9, and D10.
good catch. Is it Karthik?
Yes.
Oh, very nice. See, whenever I ask Guruji about Vargottam, he says that Vargottam means it is trying to say something really loud.
Yeah, stress,
And
emphasize.
yeah, the more it shows in multiple charts, the more impact it has, in that person's life. So I think I asked Guruji once, how much probability, what is the probability of one planet becoming Vargottam? He said 1 in 9 in one chart. Okay, so Navamsha basically. But then getting Vargottam in Dashamsha also is something bigger, rarer. And the clue here is the word rarer. Guruji, is there any other Varga Chakra you would like to see in this part? Like
Shashtiyamsa. Shashtiyamsa. But for Shashtiyamsa again, I mean, at least without the Lagna, you could gain a lot of information about the planet in Rashi itself in Shashtiyamsa. Because in Vimshopaka calculation, Shashtiyamsa has the highest point.
Yes.
It's only because of that. Maybe you can look out for planets in exaltation, Mulatrikona or Swakshetra, or a planet in debilitation, something like that. Or some clubbing together, some situation happening in a particular place where there's a Nicha Graha and then more afflictions, Ucha Graha and more support from benefic planets. So you could use Shashtiyamsa, but keep an eye on Shashtiyamsa always.
For stacking up, I think it would be really.
It would help. It will definitely help.
Yesterday in beginners class, you were discussing about the Shashtiyamsa. So
Correct.
I guess this would also be a good exercise for the beginners in the class.
Yeah.
Guruji, do we know about the native?
Who knows?
Like, is this like a famous celebrity or somebody client? or something?
No, we'll say,
not
is it
client.
a public figure, or it is not public, right? Meaning he's not that famous for the horoscope to be on public domain. Okay.
Okay, but that is one question I want to ask the astrologer friends here. Do you think this chart carries so much power that it has significations of coming into the limelight?
No, because see, why I asked the question earlier is, now this person will be thinking a lot because of Rahu. Lagna Lord is in Rahu's nakshatra, so he'll be thinking, he'll have big thoughts. The same time, ascendant is in Sun's nakshatra. So I'm doing this research. So he'll be like a person who's very authoritative. The same time, the Rahu influence will also be there, which is maybe cunning, lazy.
இன்னைக்கு ஒரு கன்சல்டேஷன் நிறைய நம்மளோட குருஜியோட டீடைல்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஃபாலோ பண்ணேன்.
No, Manoj, we are not able to hear you.
Manoji, we are not able to hear you.
So Guruji,
No, Manoj-
just like how I said now, is the native like that? Is he like very authoritative? Do we know him at that level or no?
Okay, so in fact, I would suggest everyone here, including you, Sai, to make a statement rather than a question. See, if we are going to make a statement, then of course your logic should be right? The rules.
Sometimes
I
yes,
know that he's an authoritative figure.
So you could state that he is an authoritative figure,
Yes.
or he is a
Yeah.
public person. Yeah.
He's somebody who thinks a lot. He'll have like Brahmandamana thoughts. At the same time, he's someone who's an authoritative figure, and that could even be like a little bit selfish, or he wants it. He wants to lead. He wants other people to
What's
obey.
the reasoning behind it?
Yes,
So
Gunaji?
the research is very simple. We are only looking at two things. We are looking at two factors. Factor number one is the ascendant's nakshatra. Second is the Lagnadhipati's nakshatra. So this has worked a lot. So ascendant is in Sun's nakshatra. So he will have the qualities of Surya. And ascendant Buddha is in Rahu's nakshatra. So we're just taking these two factors and talking about their attitude. Now, to confirm, I want to know whether we know, personally about this person or not.
See,
Okay.
this today's discussion is more related to whatever we know as far as the professional side, the wealth side, or you could say the wealth or career or income, whatever it is, we know that part of it. So we're not angling into the marital life or the life of children, all that. And there's a reason for that, because I want this chart to come as one of the, the pattern, learning to recognize patterns. And Sridevi ji and I think Mardini both were coming close, and Manojji threw in a bombshell, which I can't reveal yet. And Guruji gave one really important hint, and that is the Bhava Madhya of Sun and some of the Grahas, I would say, within the 5-degree orb of Lagna.
Is he appointed by a king to do something, but he himself is not a politician or a government person, but he's being used by somebody really big.
Yeah, I mean, to
So
add to that,
basically, we
Kishore-
can alter your statement to say that he is connected with something big. Can we say that, Guruji?
Yeah.
yes,
That
we
is
can say that,
somebody else is not exactly using him, but they're working together on something very big.
Okay.
But
Okay. Now,
the person is not a politician, or he himself is not a king.
okay, correct, Guruji.
Mhm.
He is not himself a king, nor is he a politician. He's not in a government arena.
But he has powers almost like if you are in a top position, how much power you wield.
Okay.
Okay, that
What was
much.
the reason for you to give that strong statement, Guruji? I mean, because I could not see that as in the chart, I could only see the wealth part. You're talking about power part. So, is there any particular thing?
We'll wait.
Moon in second house, Kishorji.
Sun in the 10th.
Moon in
Okay.
second house, straight
Okay.
from Bhugasutram
See-
says like commander in chief.
Okay, but see, that was Guruji's thunder, right? Don't steal his thunder. So he made a very emphatic
No, I'm not.
statement. Anyways, I'm just joking.
Can you show the Vimshapaka and Shadbala?
Oh yes, definitely. Please bear with me while I go through the pages. I don't remember which page it is.
Mhm. That's okay. We have time enough.
Kishorji, can we say because of Sun and Lagnapati Mercury together in 10th house, right? So he's powerful for sure. And he's related to government. But
I was
whether
waiting for
he's-
someone to say that Budaditya Yoga in the 10th. Okay, you got it. Anything, or what is the signification of that statement?
means like what will be the outcome or?
The outcome of this.
Yeah, he will be very powerful. He'll be almost like, I'm thinking if he's not part of the government, he'll be working closely with the government, and he could be running on his own business thing, as part of the connected to government.
Is the work more behind the scenes because the Sun is 12th Lord?
Behind the scene because Sun is 12th Lord.
No, I think it's foreign connection. I'm thinking like external affairs or exports or something, far away lands related, or maybe, or medical. The Guruji sometimes say it could also be related to medical.
And Kishore, one more question. Is this person a devotee of Sai Baba, or can you ask him if he recently got a Sai Baba from somebody?
No, Manojji. He doesn't belong to the Hindu Dharma.
Okay, but ask him if somebody spoke to him about the Sai Baba to him.
Okay.
What happened?
Oh, what was the reason for that?
There is one transit. Look, I'm checking, but it's just experimental. But just ask him, right? I don't have a definite rule for it, but I'm just giving a guess for it. If it works, then I'll share. If somebody had spoken to him or mentioned it to him, then we can know that the rule is working. Without working, if we start applying it, right? But it's just a question I have.
Yeah, but Manojji, the problem is he's not from India, so he's not even an Indian background person. He's not aware of the Indian Dharma, the Hindu Dharma, so we will not be able to prove.
So the possibility is less.
Very, very less. Yeah, but if it was an Indian, definitely we would go for.
Okay, or else ask him if he had visited a dargah or anything in the recent time, if he's a Muslim.
Okay.
So you are hinting he is already he belongs to Islam.
No, he's not an Islamic person.
No, Manoj was hinting at that, I think.
Oh, okay.
The possibility is he could have met a person who got religiously identified, but though he could be from a different faith. That is, the religious person could be from a different faith. So either he would have come across about that person in the recent past.
Okay, you mean to say there was a chance that he became religious suddenly, right? In the recent past.
Yeah, in the recent past, and it could be based on a person. It need not be from the same faith, but let's assume it's from a different faith also.
Okay,
or else a person from a different faith, like, see, initially Sai Baba was born as a Muslim, right? But we accept him and we do all the prayers. Like that, it could be a person from a different faith, but he could be treated equally important in their own faith.
Okay. So basically, I would like to take this from the Deshkal Patra perspective. So when he's from India, then we can say whatever Manojji has said. But when he's not from India, then we have to twist it to something broader, generic, like what you said, like meeting a religious person or turning inward, turning spiritual.
Yes.
So basically, that is the angle you're trying to go into, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have answer for that, it's fine. You can ask him and let
yeah, I will check it out. And Guruji, you wanted the Vimshopak and the Shadbal.
I saw that.
Saturn seems to be really strong, happy in Vimshopak.
Well, Shadbala sun is leaping.
Sun is leaping. He reminds me of some chart we saw yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
Not yesterday, the last class.
Yeah. But there are two more people also up. In Vimshopaka, it is Saturn. Right? So Saturn is in a good mood.
Mercury also, Guruji. Mercury and Sun.
Mercury, okay. At least, okay, Mercury. But Saturn is somewhat taller, right? 14.
Yes.
14. And it is his fifth lord. Fifth lord, lot of luck. If the fifth lord is so strong, because it is, if you take average between Shadbala and Vimshopaka, Saturn will be the strongest one, I think, if you do an average.
Yeah.
in which case it will become fifth lord Purva Punya. So a lot of luck that he got assigned for a particular job, which that means not everybody gets a chance to do such things.
Yes, Guruji.
Mm.
We also see this when you look at the average, that's a concept it's strange for me. But when I take that concept of yours, then we see Sun also getting a higher average.
Yeah. Sun will be here 10 and there. Okay, it's still tall only. It's above average.
Mm.
To take an average.
So we could say there's a war between Saturn and Sun in terms of who's going to dominate whom in this person's life.
And in Ashtaka Varga, 31, 32. So 31 in 10th and 32 in 12th. 12th Lord in the 10th.
Sure, as I can see that this person, his work is not assigned to one community in his country. I think he is working in many places. Either he is working with investments with foreigner countries. Is that correct? Or he is assigned to the same place in his work?
You're talking about the domain of his work, whether it is related, whether it is within a short circle.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your statement?
I think he is working in many places inside his country, or otherwise he is working with investment outside of his country.
Something like an ambassador, of a country, but reaching out to foreign countries.
Yes, Guruji, like external affairs, that's what I mentioned. Okay. Like external affairs minister or external affairs.
External affairs. Okay.
Okay. So could you please type out the statements with the supporting rules?
Astrological combinations. Okay.
Yeah. So because it's going to be recorded and it will be scrolled in the end of the video.
Correct.
And sometimes Guruji, if he finds it interesting, he will take the comment and put it inside the pop-out. So it's interesting for people to get that.
Shall I text the reason behind my statement?
Yes. Whenever possible.
Okay.
The statement and the supporting rules behind it.
Okay.
Sai Garu, you were saying something. I couldn't exactly understand what you said.
No, I was telling because there is a 12th Lord connection with the 10th, and there is a Sun is a kind of government representation, and Lagnabadi is also in 10th, right? So very powerful. So I'm thinking that's why earlier I mentioned he could be related to government or exports or external affairs. Make sense?
You're talking about the foreign connections.
Yeah, foreign connection, because 12th Lord is connected with 10th and it's in 10th.
You see, I think in one of the previous classes, the recent classes, Guruji had mentioned one point, which is actually a good idea to follow. He said, go from the general and then go into the specific. Correct. So in this case, when we say that when you want to zone down on something, to narrow down on something, it is better we start off by saying that he has foreign connections, or he's well connected with not only his homeland, but also outside his homeland.
Exactly.
Can we take that as a statement, Sai Garu?
Sure.
The general statement.
Yeah. But
I mean, a small correction when Kishorji said that Guruji has been saying, please move from general to specific. It's not my idea. It is Maharishi Parashara who said that in BPHS. Move from the general to the specific.
But I heard it from you, Guruji.
Okay.
So Guruji, I have a question. I mean, Mars and Rahu in the 12th, that's also a combination which you have said in the past that can take a person to jail. Has this ever happened to this native in the past?
I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue about this horoscope.
It is there in Bhrigu Sutram also, Guruji. I mentioned earlier, like he might be imprisonment or sufferings.
Okay.
And also
maybe work in hospital.
Yeah.
Possible, right?
I also typed like Jupiter is in Mrityu Bhaga here.
Oh. And what do you infer from that if Jupiter is in Mrityu Bhaga?
So I'm thinking, because I think he has Jupiter Dasha earlier. I think he's a Swati Nakshatra. Like I couldn't see the Nakshatra, but if Jupiter is there very early, right? So he might have had sufferings in Jupiter Dasha, or
no, is Nakshatra Chitra.
Chitta Nakshatra. Okay, Chitta.
Yeah,
Okay,
because you
Chitta
can see
Nakshatra,
moon
Mars.
is at 2 degrees, right? Moon is at 2 degrees, so that makes him Chitra Nakshatra, the third pada.
Okay. Yes, Guruji. Yeah. So Jupiter Dasha would have passed. So I'm thinking he would have some kind of suffering during Jupiter Dasha, maybe because of
What would be the time period? Let me show the Vimshotri breakdown. Okay, so Jupiter Dasha comes in 2101, and you're talking from birth. Okay,
Oh no, it should come
1981 to
early.
1981 to 1997 is where the Jupiter Dasha was running between the age 20 to 36.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it. And maybe because it's all the seventh owner, right? So at a high level, broader specific, like I'm saying, it could be because of wife or it could be because of some business.
Okay.
Lack of children.
No, one sec. Let me get this straight. You're saying in Jupiter Dasha, something has happened to him or something would have impactful has happened?
Yes.
Something has happened.
Okay.
He's in Nichbanga, but still, like Nicha is still, I'm considering as a.
You're
So
saying
you're
you consider it as Nicha.
Yes,
Or
Guruji.
Nicha Banga. Okay.
Yeah. That also I
Yeah,
attribute.
I think maybe something related to business because even in D10, Jupiter is debilitated in 7th house.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And did I see Navamsa also here?
But there also the nature is getting cancelled because the dispositor is exalted, right?
Oh yeah, correct.
During Jupiter, Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, Jupiter, Mars, Rahu, the end part may not be that good for the native. Because if you take Jupiter as the Lagna Lord, then Sun, Mercury, Mars, Rahu goes to 612.
So the later part of Jupiter Dasha, according to Sai Prahalad, is that he would have been facing a lot of trouble, right? Can we reverse it and say early part of Jupiter because it's retrograde?
I'm just saying from the Mahadasha point, Jupiter might be troublesome. And then Jupiter, Sun, Mercury, Mars, Rahu. Mars, Rahu comes in the end. Because if you take Jupiter as a Lagna Lord, Jupiter as the Dashanath, then it's 6-8.
Okay, so is there anybody else who would like to comment, or if Guruji gives permission? Yeah.
If this person had any trouble from his father,
Why?
because of the 9th and 8th.
Do we know that?
I would assume that there is something in that thing, but we don't know the specific actually. But there is something else in his life that is remarkable actually. It is so remarkable that it is worthy of looking at, So, okay, so shall I reveal this? There's a native's life story, Guruji?
Is this the purpose, or you wanted it to be shown with another horoscope where
yes.
there's some similarity?
Yes, so there is a connection as I told in the beginning. There's another native's chart that I would like to show. Okay. So if all of you agree that we can see the other chart, then and if Guruji says yes, I will go to the next chart, and then we'll revisit both the charts at the same time.
Before that, somebody pointed out that his third house is having extraordinary points. So do you see that in Ashtakarga, 37 points, and so does that say something? The third house.
Yes. You always mention the third house as one. You use a particular word, Guruji. You say it's a house of transformation, right?
Yeah.
So that speaks out loudly in this chart also.
But something so high as 37.
Yes.
But it is empty, Guruji. How do we read this? Because the Lord is in 12th, it's Rahu. Maybe the transformation
in Ashtakarga, one of the superb idea is to look out for something that is extraordinary. Okay. Why the planets have arranged themselves to give so much points into the third house. So this would be somebody who could be
It's very courageous. A lot of
lot of energy, lot of dynamic energy, stamina, and because he's already having 10th or so active, he could have made use of that to the best of his abilities. Something to do with dynamic kinetic energy, because
lot of hard work.
that sign is ruled by that sign is ruled by Mars, right? But though Mars is in the 12th is another point to consider. So maybe he would have changed from one activity to another. Okay. Completely.
Was that we can assume that that activity was for the better, right?
Yeah, because from the normal karmic point of view, it was better, because in the days before he did all the before he transformed, he must have not been a good person. But after he transformed, he could have become a very normal person and a good person, and did better jobs than what he did before.
So basically, there is this combination that I'm looking at, the connection of the third lord, the dignity of the third lord, the strength of the third bhava, and the Ashtakvarka scores.
Okay.
And then the connection between the 211, which was pointed out earlier. And I will see that, I will mention that in the next project presentation that we are going to do, me and Gautam.
Okay.
But for now, what you told is correct, Guruji. There is some, and in fact, Sai mentioned something. Sai Prahlad, what was it, Sai? About
regarding
the
what?
third house.
So I said you get a lot of help, because third house is help, and as well as courageous. Courageous, because you need that courage and effort to do big things, big actions.
Very good, very good. On that note,
like you said, third lord is with Rahu. Again, it's amplifying whatever courage. It's almost like you can say crazy courage. No?
Yes. And to mention one more thing, what Guruji mentioned is the sun being in the Bhava Madhya. Then we see the Rahu Ketu also in the Bhava Madhya. Okay, within 2 to 3 degrees, I would say is a very strong effect. Okay. So now I'm going to show the second natives chart here in this section, and we'll see what is
because you're going to connect. You're going to connect this to that, and therefore revealing the first one is not a good idea, because then we'll be biased when we read the second chart, right?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll stop the screen share momentarily.
Correct.
So just so you know that it's not about children, right?
No, we are not talking about children. We are not talking about marital life, for a change.
Only career and something else, maybe connected to great success and wealth and career all put together.
Guruji, shall we go into that chart separately and then come back with a joint look?
Okay, yeah, that's how we should do it, right?
Okay. Yeah. Then I'll go there.
Maybe at least there is some common point. At least we know that there is some common point. So I think students can get started off very quickly, because we seem to know certain things, right?
Yes. So here we go. And now I'm sharing this. Yeah. So this is the other person we are going to look at.
Okay.
And if you can remember the placement of the previous chart, fine. So
we should, because we've been looking at it for a long time.
Yeah.
The first thing that strikes is the 7th and the 8th Lord Parivartana.
This person also has like 5th house, Sun and Jupiter, and Rahu Ketu in 6th.
No, that's a Navmansh, Sridevi.
No.
The main chart is in color.
Now, Kishorji, this chart is very sensitive to time of birth. It is very sensitive to time of birth. Are you sure about the time of birth? Because you see the Lagna is at 0 degree.
Yes, 0.8.
So even if you alter it by even 15 seconds, if you reduce the time of birth, it will go back. The Lagna will go back.
Yes, this was a concern that Gautam had when we first saw this 2 weeks back, and then we were discussing the impact of the other placements, the lordships, and
Okay.
based on that impact on the placements, we felt that this was we could take this as correct, and we could proceed forward in this.
Okay. I'm yet to figure out, how you are going to connect, because I don't see anything actually astrological patterns.
Yeah. So the first thing we noticed is
except Mars.
Mercury and Sun in same.
No. 1 minute. No, Mars, Rahu, Ketu is on 6-12 axis.
Sir, the other
Guruji, couple of other similarities.
That is the first similarity.
So Jupiter and Saturn
Jupiter
is getting
in
connected
fifth
to the
house.
fifth house.
Yes, Manojji, could you
Mercury
repeat
and
again?
Sun conjunction in the same Gemini.
I said Jupiter and Saturn is again getting connected to the fifth house in this chart.
Yes, that is the first big observation. The second
Venus
observation,
in 8th.
Venus in the 8th is the main connection that I see in both the charts. The big connection. And there's one more important yoga happening here. In the previous chart, there was Budaditya in the 10th, this Budaditya in the 9th. The same place, Gemini. The Rashi is Gemini, and Mercury Sun is there in Gemini. For the previous person, it was in the 10th house. For this person, it's in the 9th house.
Then how do you connect it?
The connection is not because that they are same professionally. It's because of the wealth, the nature of wealth that has exposed this person's. In a way, I would say that this person is not in the same field as the previous person, but this person, you told one point, right? You said that he's connected with somebody else, or he's receiving the help from somebody. This is the person who has helped the other person.
Oh,
Kishorji, the thing is, you know why that is happening. It is the 8th Lord Venus aspecting the second house. Okay, so when you take the 8th house, the 8th house is the second house, the Dhanasthana of the other people in the world. That particular Lord is looking at the Dhanasthana of this particular person, the second.
And did you notice one more pattern? Because when you said that, Venus in the 8th, there was one common point is Venus in the 8th. Here, Venus is not only in the 8th, but in Swarkshetra. And here, as you said, Venus is aspecting the second house. And there, Venus was aspecting the second house as well. The previous thing, which was its own house.
The probability is this person could have also lended some money and is trying to get that money back. The reason being the 8th house, the 6th house is the 11th from the 8th. And that is severely afflicted.
Kishorji, the other person's Venus is aspecting this person's Lagna. And this person's Venus is aspecting the other person's third house.
Okay. So would you like to say that this person's, the previous person's third house was helped by this person's placement of Venus?
Yeah.
So Kishorji, one thing is this person could be, when you said they could have met at a point in life, is it a business dealing between these two people?
It happened. It happened as a deal actually. And
so
it was a big deal.
That agreement would have gone into complete failure for this person.
Okay.
Native has more fame than the previous chart.
Because that is favoring that person. I think this is the, though this is okay, but, personally, I don't see much good about this chart.
Another observation is...
But Kishorji has already said that the first chart is connected to this.
Yeah, sir,
the first chart has received.
But I'm saying they are financially connected. He only gave a, because the way it is asked, the 8th house Lord aspecting the second house, and when we take the 8th house as the other person's, I didn't even think about the first chart. Here I was just looking at this person's chart, where it is like this person is a kind of a person who will bring gains to others, but he will have a mediocre life with finance. He could have inherited properties, but sustaining it would be hard for this person.
Yeah, is it because of like the second lord and seventh lord? Mars is in 12th along with the nodes.
I was going to say
Right.
the same. Second lord has gone to the 12th.
Yeah. Yeah. That's important.
So what is the statement, Sai Garu?
The second lord and seventh lord, Mars, is in 12th. If you ask only for finance, right, the second lord is in 12th and is in also node's axis, right? So
you're saying he could be in money lending?
No, he's
more
saying that his income or wealth has gone to the 12th house, and 7th house
Yeah.
partner has become an enemy like that.
Oh,
Maybe wealth, maybe the pursuit of wealth took him to prison.
More like debts, Guruji, and loss of wealth.
Yeah, I was about to say what Anuji has said, like, income
12th,
from
12th.
sources.
You want to connect 12th, right, to Rahu and Ketu, some cheating.
Yeah. Cheating will happen, but also income from foreign sources or cheating, all those things I'm thinking, Guruji.
Mhm.
Manojji, what about this eighth house, other story? I think it was Venus in the eighth in both the cases, and many of you have pointed out that Venus in the eighth, the previous chart, compared to this chart, there seems to be some similarity and some difference also. So here, I would say,
See,
yes,
here
sir.
though the Venus here, it is in his own house, we should not be, and it is also the Lagna Lord, right? Just because it is in his own house, we cannot take that this Venus is very strong.
Mhm.
If you see, there is the Saturn's aspect on that Venus. That many of us didn't notice, but that Saturn aspect on the Lagna Lord and the Lagna is a blemish for the Lagna.
Yes.
Okay, and on top of that, that the eighth Lord is looking at the second house and the second Lord going to the 12th. And if you take the sixth house, which is the gains of the eighth house, it's severely afflicted.
Okay.
Yeah, even in Astaka Varga, right? If you look at this
When
course
we
of
say eighth house, we can also say it's the wealth of the second house, the seventh house. I mean, the second house from seventh. So could we signify that as?
That is what I said. The first point I made is the eighth house. If you take it as the wealth of others, if you take the seventh house as the Lagna, then it becomes the opposite people, right? The second house to that becomes the wealth of the opposite person.
Okay.
When you read that chart, it looks in a better way than comparing to read the chart from this way, right? So.
And also the Astaka Varga score, right? So if you try to do like second and 11th compared to 12th and 6th. So I think 12 and 6 is having more score.
See, this person's chart is more like, he is lucky to gain good wealth, okay? But whether sustaining the wealth will be the question for this person's chart. This person will probably lose. Sir, are you all right, sir?
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm just stretching my neck muscles, that's all.
I think he is not. I think he is not interesting that much in wealth. I think he can make wealth. I think he's not interesting that much in wealth.
Okay.
I think he
So
has.
what
I
about?
think he has fame.
Okay, my question
I
to
think
all
he
of
has
you.
fame in his.
Yeah, my question to all of you is there are some good things also. Like we see fourth and fifth in 11th, which is a very good connection. And we see this 11th Lord in the 9th, and then we see 9th Lord in the 9th, and then we see Jupiter in the 5th, which is a happy Jupiter.
Kishorji, I'm concerned if this is the Lagna, exact degree in the Baba chart, Saturn is so deep into the 12th, in the Baba. So in the Baba chart, it is quite different. You can see Mars, Ketu, Saturn, Rahu on that axis.
Okay.
So there's something like a twist, I think, finally. Something went wrong.
Yes. You could say that it is happening right at the moment because right now he's running the Saturn Dasha.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the other
this
thing
is the
is,
time when they retire usually, right?
Okay.
Kishorji, the other important point is the two natural benefits, Jupiter and Venus, are both aspected by Saturn, and they are having a blemish on them. Okay. So just because even if you just observe, even if you're forgetting the Bava chart, 11 Saturn sitting in the 11th house itself has got a dignity loss. Okay, because that Saturn is going to act like Saturn. He will give the benefits of the 11th lord going to the 4th lord going to the 11th and 5th lord going to the 11th. But Saturn being a malefic will have an effect of its own.
Okay, so do you think
Jupiter
that
aspecting Saturn is not always bad, because you've looked at Ambani's charts where this aspect is there. But anyway, what Manojji said is correct.
Here
It's not always
actually,
bad.
here actually, fifth lord is going Rahu. Fifth lord is going to the sixth house. So, is there any drop in the Purva Punya?
Yeah, fall in position, fall from position.
no? Could you repeat again? Fifth lord in the sixth.
No,
Sixth,
fifth lord
which
and
is
the 12th.
Rahu.
Oh, Rahu. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
Rahu.
okay.
Oh, co-lord.
Yeah, co-lord.
He's going through
Yes,
Saturn
yeah.
Mahadasha now.
Yeah.
By the way, did he, like, if he had losses, was it because he was fast and emotional and rash and emotional?
No, if I was to think of that way, then you cannot rise in professions, right? You cannot become what this person has become. So I don't think he is that emotional a person. Probably you could say
No.
stress can be there.
I didn't say stress. I'm talking about fast. He's a fast decision maker. Maybe he gets angry a lot more. Again, do we know the person personally
Yes,
enough
yes,
to?
yes. We know from what is available in the public domain, and that's the
Oh.
reason why we are not looking at.
Oh, this is not a personal chart. Okay.
No, it's not a personal chart, but these are both AA rated charts, and I would say that the previous chart was the one that was actually intriguing compared to this. But when this chart was also a part of that person's life, then I was looking at how this person would be and how his chart would speak out. So when you look at the afflictions, whatever Manojji has said, like Saturn is aspecting Jupiter and Venus, we must also understand that Jupiter is also throwing out some good aspects and good connections. Like, for example, Jupiter would be aspecting the ninth and the first house. And Jupiter being in the fifth itself is a good sign, because it's a happy Jupiter, I would say, aspected. And there's this connection of Saturn Jupiter that happened here, which is slightly different or more different from what happened in the previous chart. So in the previous chart, they were both together, and Saturn was the fifth lord. Here, Saturn being the fifth lord in the 11th, it has caused, and that would also explain why that help came from this person at the time when he was in need of money.
But Jupiter in fifth, isn't it Karko Bhavanasi?
Yeah, but we're talking about the not just
Again,
the life thing. We're talking about the general things.
and you said that he got help by money. Does it make him emotional? Like, because you're emotional, empathetic, you want to help somebody with finances. Is
Not
it
that
like
sort
that?
of help. No, not that sort of help. It's more like the funding thing. The funding thing. Yeah. See, the amount of wealth, the amount of rise, the empire that was built by the previous person. Now that I use the word empire, by now you would have guessed the strength of the previous chart. At one point of time, this person that you see right now, the chart, was the one who funded the other person, the previous person. Okay. Now,
So that person built an empire.
He built an empire. So,
but this guy was not in the limelight. Only the other guy was.
So three things are in common, Guruji, here. One is the connection between Jupiter, Saturn. The other is Venus in the 8th. And the third one is the Mercury-Sun conjunction in Gemini. Okay, Rasi.
Yeah.
Okay, so three important things are coming up in this thing. And here also, Saturn-Jupiter conjunction or aspect, Sambandha, has played a part beautifully. Because Saturn being the 4th and the 5th lord in the 11th, this chart became popular.
Okay.
They became strong, in terms of, like when we see normal charts, we see a lot of afflictions and all that. But here, this conjunction, these two heavyweight grahas are mutually helping each other. And there's an important point I would like to bring to the notice of all of us. And that is this conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn is said to be so powerful that in Saravali, if Guruji would give permission, I would say, In Saravali, when Jupiter and Saturn are conjunct, they say that the native will be heroic, will have plenty of wealth, will be chief of the city like a mayor or someone, famous, and will be the head of an assembly, a village, or an association.
Uncle, this is what I said earlier. When Manojji said Jupiter Sunny aspect is bad, and I corrected him saying that it's actually good.
Yeah.
And then we also have Ambani's chart, which is similar, where this Jupiter and Saturn connections are there. So
Yeah.
that quote is pretty powerful.
One question I want to ask Guruji is, in what way does this lend a difference? Like here, they're aspecting each other, whereas there they were conjunct in the same place. So could you give us a brief idea, Guruji, about which effect would have been really strong, conjunct or aspecting each other? Because that is the reason why I'm still struggling with both the charts.
Conjunct.
Conjunct is more powerful.
Yeah.
You sure? Sorry, what the connection between these two people? They were friends or father and son?
No, they were not related to each other. No, they were not related to each other. This person was born in 1950.
So this person funded the other person, and the other person, built up something very big.
Okay, can we consider this person as guru for the other person, or no? There's no relation.
Like something like a mentor and godfather, or
something
that
like that. Something like that.
Because this
More
I
of
can
a
see
business connection. Yeah.
Yeah,
in
this
India,
I
of
can
course,
see
we
it.
revere such people. When people come in our lives and they get this sort of a help, in India we do have a reverence attitude, and there it's more like a business relationship, which is good enough. Like I don't see any harm in that.
Yeah, but if this guy he is like guru or mentor for the other guy, if we go to his Arudha Lagna, we will find Jupiter and Marana Karakastana from the Arudha Lagna. When Jupiter and Marana Karakastana from the Arudha Lagna, usually the person he can lose money with his followers or with his somebody he consider that he is his follower, or he is superior, or he is guru or something like this. And even so, if we go from the Arudha Lagna, Jupiter and Marana Karakastana in 3rd house and Venus, it's in 6th house. This combination can lead to losing money for people that the person he loves, that the Raja's desire for himself, he sacrificed for other people. He can sacrifice this Raja's desire for the other people who is considered as my students, my followers. So this combination, it's obvious in his chart, especially
this chart
Jupiter.
right now that you see. Okay.
Yeah, in this chart, we are considering that this native, he is a guru of the other native. So he funded him and he lost money. So not from the ascendant, from the Arudha Lagna, if we go, we can find Moon in the Arudha Lagna, which he has some fame, I think, in his work, or between his follower, or between his student, or between his son. But Jupiter in Marana Karakastana, Venus in 6th house, even Mercury, he is combust in this chart. So this combination can support that the person can lose money for his followers or for his sons.
Venus is combust.
To add to
Mercury.
point,
Mercury.
Okay. To add
the Raja's desire can be gone. Can he sacrifice his Raja's desire from himself? He can lend money for his supports or for the people who is following him or who consider himself as a guru for them, and that's why he might lose money because of funding the other guy. I think the money which he funded, he lost it, but I don't know the story.
Okay.
Okay, Kishorji, to add to that point, if this person had acted as a guru, for sure it wouldn't suit the other person, because for the other person, the 9th lord has gone to the 8th. If you check that, the other person chart, the 9th lord has gone to the 8th for him. So he will be a betrayer of a guru.
Okay. Exactly.
Or let down by the guru.
No, he will be letting down the guru, sir.
Oh, the other person. Okay.
The other person will be letting down the guru because he has because here the 9th lord is in the 9th. But for the other person, if you Kishorji, if you could just switch the chart, right?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I need one clue, Kishorji. Is this person in trouble right now?
No, Guruji, not at all.
He is not in trouble.
There is no affliction, no trouble, no insolvency or losses or anything that sort. They are living, both of them are having a very, I would say, in terms of wealth, there is no affliction to that.
Okay.
And we can see that because of the 4th and 5th in 11th, and that is one reason why we are looking
No,
at.
I was considering that Bhava chart, why Saturn moved to the 12th.
Okay, probably Saturn Dasha would be some problematic. See, the problem is, let me tell you one similarity between both of them. Their personal life is not known to anybody. That is a strange mystery. Though their professional life has made them famous. Usually in India, when a person becomes famous, every nook and corner of the house is known to everyone, right?
Okay.
But this person's personal life is not known. Both of them.
Sir, one more point to add over here. If we take the third house as the house of agreements, okay, it has gone to the 12th. And on top of that, you see the conjunction between Rahu and the Mars. It is a very close conjunction. So he has poisoned the agreement.
This is the first chart, by the way, since you asked for it, Manojji.
Yeah, that is what the third house is, the house of agreement. It can be any agreement, right? So this person has poisoned the agreement. So he could have betrayed the agreement.
Okay. Can we also say that since the third house is the house of endeavor and third lord has gone to 12th, can we say that he would make his endeavors go into abroad, like, in other than his homeland? That can also be taken as one angle to this third and the 12th, right, with Rahu.
You
and
mean
that
to say
a friendly sign.
He sold something to foreign countries?
He earned from foreign countries, we would say that.
Okay. By selling?
Not selling exactly, but I will reveal now the native.
Like exports.
Yeah.
Okay. Like exports.
Yeah. So there's something here. Yeah, there's something here which I would like to say. One is the 4th lord in the 5th. The 4th house stands for lands, right? And 5th here is Saturn once again, a strong placement of the 5th lord. 4th and 5th conjunct. So even if you take the planets themselves, they are so heavyweight. And I just read from Saravali that Jupiter and Saturn. See, as we keep unraveling, we keep searching for truth. We keep referring to the great old classics.
Okay.
So Saravali is one of them, and that gave a big clue that Jupiter Saturn Sambandha is a very strong Sambandha. It has nothing negative in it. So that is very strange because we see always Saturn in a bad light. But here, when Jupiter and Saturn both combine, it says that there will be plenty of wealth, and he's like a leading figure in the village, or someone who is a top person. So let me reveal about this person because I think people are really wanting to know the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Before that, everybody has typed out whatever they wanted to say.
Okay, one question I can ask to all of you, Guruji, if with your permission. What could be the source of his income? I think that one question was a very important question that we all missed. Let's see if there's any clue that you can take from here. Anybody, just give one statement.
The first chart or second chart?
This chart right now that you see in the screen is the first chart. I will not be pondering too much about the second chart, but what is the source of wealth? And what would be the quantum of
to begin with? Because he changed later, right? So I'll make my first guess and then let the students also say. Is it something to do with sports?
No, Guruji.
No, okay.
But what was the reason?
I was trying to connect 5 and the strength of 5 and 3. 3 and 5. Along, because I saw that the third has extraordinary points and saw the Lord of the 5th in the 5th. So if it was not sports, then it must have been the share market.
The second statement that you told is somewhat closer.
Okay.
Why is share market, Guruji?
5th house.
Okay.
5th house is speculation.
Okay.
If not entertainment and sports, then it will become a field where
share market. Would you say share market as another word as investment?
Yeah.
Like an investor.
So it's like speculative. So when you put in very less money, you get a lot of returns.
Yeah.
It becomes it grows like anything.
Yeah.
There is
That
also
part,
fifth house. Yeah.
that part is
Nothing.
actually true. But now the nature of income, let's see if somebody can point it out.
Cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency. Oh.
Why?
Rahu, Mercury.
Rahu,
Fifth
Mercury.
house.
George, please open the D10 chart too.
Oh, okay.
Which one?
I'm having the control here,
D10.
Gautam.
Oh, D10. A lot of people in 410. I saw that in D10.
D10, let me go to that page.
Yeah, D10. A lot of people on 410 axis.
Is this the one?
You can just replace a D9.
See, so my logic was second lord and the eighth. So it's going to be other people's money, investments. Maybe he had his company listed in the stock and the value went up. Those kind of things. Or even insurance business.
More about litigations.
Actually, Gautamji wanted to see the D10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here is D10 for you.
Where? Bottom. Yeah, that's what I said.
the
No,
bottom.
410. 410 loaded. 410 loaded. Yeah. So it must be land related.
Yeah, and also see the Dasha sequence. And maybe also look from the Chandra Lakna to Mona's Lakna and see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Something to involve in litigations also, like Guruji, like land litigations, conflict resolution, like that's what I'm thinking because of fifth and sixth conjunction. And Saturn also Jupiter is there. So judicial, law related also litigations involving.
Okay. So Gautam gave a clue here to look at the Dasha. Why Gautam?
I mean, he just wants to connect to what happened when, like Jupiter was from 1981. So his climb must have started maybe as early as 81 itself. 81. Jupiter itself.
Here, Vimshopak is the favorite for Guruji here. Usually he looks at Vimshopak to see which graha is going to play a big role. And here Saturn being the Karma Karak, that gives a clue here.
Yep, that's the reason I was actually, I think, more inclined towards fifth and sixth related professions. That's why I think I felt more like sixth because of Jupiter combination also, like Saturn being the fifth and sixth owner along with Jupiter.
So what was the nature of income according to you, Sai Garu?
I'm thinking more about something involving with conflict resolution or litigations.
No, inventions possible. Inventions. Inventions. Making something new. Something that was not there before,
Guruji, you're giving two types of statements, Guruji, both, and one of them is actually strongly right, and the other one is on the other side, actually.
Okay.
So I would like to ask you once again, what was the nature of income? You gave me two or three, but would you like to hone down on and give one statement or something that speaks out, or would you like to wait for some time?
No, I'm just giving clues to the students.
Yeah, in fact, you're revealing for them a lot of things, because when I answer some of them, they are taking it from you. I can see that.
Oh.
Guruji, why did you say inventions?
I'm just trying to understand the fifth house role with leadership, right? Pioneers. Like you have Lagna Lord in the 10th, Mercury connection there. So the 10th is strong, the 5th is strong. So it is connecting to that. But third house is something to do with adventurous nature, trying out new ideas and new things. Not, it's a symbol of courage. Not worried about investments. I'm sure this will later on give a lot of returns.
Yeah, that's
not many people will invest in such things, but he will take the chance and say I'm going to risk it, and whereas others could have said no to the idea, but only these kind of people will take it up and do it because of a very strong sun in the 10th and then Mercury as Bhadra Yoga.
Yes,
along with all the Saturn Jupiter connections. the fifth.
Hmm.
And even the 410 so strong on that axis, you see so many people, 5 of them on 410.
That is the key point here, Guruji. Hmm. So fourth house is the house of property, land,
or vehicles, or vehicle also, both, all of them. Anything to make people more comfortable.
Somebody pointed out that Jupiter is Vargotam, and could that also be the reason for Saturn and Jupiter conjunction becoming stronger? Because in Dashamsha, we see the dispositor of Guru is exalted.
Yes.
Once again in the fourth house.
Basically, Jupiter-Saturn connection is a Raja Yoga by normal definition, right? Because one is a Trikona, other one is a Kendra, and it happens in a Nicha Bhanga type arrow. One of the big Nicha Bhangas are like this, according to Chandra Kalanadi, that if a planet is debilitated and without, you ask the next question, who is the dispositor? Okay. If that planet is also with it, it is the highest form of Nicha Bhanga Raja. The planet that who gave the house to this Nicha Graha sits along with it. Instead of searching for it somewhere else. Okay. If it is along with it, it is something very big. Very powerful Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga. And usually those things come out in Jupiter Mahadasha or Saturn Mahadasha.
Jupiter or Saturn. And here, since Gautam mentioned it, and what you said is also coming true, because Jupiter, Saturn is for one after the other.
Correct. Continuous.
Yes.
Sir, but one more thing we noted, you remember, sir, I was saying when Nicha Bhanga is happening.
Manoj, your voice is not clear.
Now, is it okay?
You have to come closer to the device.
I'm actually very close to the device.
Now it's better. Now it's better.
Oh no, what I said, I told this observation to Guruji also, that when Nicha Bhanga is happening, it downfalls the person, like, it brings to some defamation, and then from there the person rises.
Yes, that is also seen in this person's life.
So what happens, like, for example, if you take Narendra Modi, right, when Nicha Bhanga happened, that is when the Godhra accident incident happened. So we never knew Narendra Modi unless and until that Godhra incident happened. From that incident, he rose to fame. Okay. So even in Guruji's life, we had a similar, like Guruji shared something very similar, like some incident happened, and from there, the rise happened.
Yes. I remember that he told us.
So whenever that Nicha Bhanga happens, it takes the person to down, and then from there, with that particular incident would be the key factor to bring to fame also.
Absolutely true, Manojji.
Now, what causes the transformation is that the beginnings there was some problem, and that makes the person set a goal to overcome it. It's like you see in some movies, the hero initially is beaten up by a lot of people, and then he suddenly changes. He becomes a Superman or something like that. Okay.
Good. So, shall I tell this exceptional life story of this person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
So this person's name is Ivar Tollefsen.
Okay.
Okay. He's in Norway, and he's a citizen of Norway. At the age of 12, he started delivering papers on, early morning, like how they do in India. The newspaper delivery boys, they start delivering papers. Okay.
Okay.
And at the age of 12, he had to wake up at 3:30 in the morning. Please imagine that in Norway.
Okay.
And doing that for a few years, from the money that he earned, he bought musical instruments or the audio instruments and started performing at various events like school parties and all that. This is I'm taking from the Wikipedia. And very soon, he founded what is known as the Tollefsen Enterprises. And he skipped high school. Now here, so when he skipped high school, when it's mentioned that he skipped high school, we get to know that at what age he did this sort of a venture. At a time when most of the students are cracking the 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade exams, this boy is creating an empire starting from the money that he earned by delivering newspapers and investing in audio devices or audio equipments and lending out the audio equipments or what you call the DJ services and getting money from that, from those venture. So basically, in a way, it's like, the actual meaning of self-earned wealth would be an example like this. Where he
Just like
wakes
other
up at,
people's money, right, Guruji? I mean, right, Kishore uncle, because he's lending instruments and then he's getting other people's money.
yeah. So he's not exactly getting other people's money. That would be purely like a an investment brokerage or something. But here he's giving something out for rent. So there's a small difference here. Okay, you're not getting the other person's money just like that. You're getting it because you're giving something, either a service or some instrument or something like that. Okay.
Okay.
And
Venus see the indication here. Venus being
one important point I always remember from whatever Guruji has stressed in the beginner class is about the quality of Saturn. Okay, that keeps always ringing in my head. Anyone, anywhere in any chart, wherever you see Saturn dominating the chart, that person will be hardworking. And that hard work usually is a remedy for Sadhisati according to Guruji. All of you, I think by now would be aware. Those who attended his classes and his patron sessions, he keeps saying that. And what if we see this hard work coming up in this person's life in a way that, where he forgoes his grade exams, the high school exams or studies, he sacrifices, he climbs up. As a teenager, he earns money by renting out these audio equipments. Okay. And the name of this enterprise is Tollefson Enterprises.
Oh.
Okay. Then, and let us say, now he is born in 1961. Look at the Dasha. We have Mars Dasha, 1961, the little part of it. And then we have Rahu. From 63 to 81, that I would say 63, 73, 81 would be basically his teenage period. At a time when Rahu will actually create diversions and, get the kids involved with some distractions or something, like drifting away from studies. I would not say too much about the negative aspect of Rahu because we see good things about Rahu also. He teaches you some lessons. So there, this person took up venturing into business. Somebody can enter sports, somebody can do business, somebody can get addictions.
Correct.
Somebody can also destroy their life by perversions. So whatever good things and bad things about Rahu, fortunately for this person, Rahu became a turning point. He worked very hard. He created his own empire. 1981, start of Jupiter Dasha, retrograde. Early part of his Jupiter Dasha, again, he was still doing hard work. And then in the year 1985, exactly, I think I would say in 1985 would be
85 is still in Jupiter, I think.
Jupiter Saturn. Yeah, Jupiter Saturn. And once again, we see a turnaround. Hard work being rewarded by the Karma Graha, Saturn. So here in 1985, this small venture of his Tollefson Enterprises was bought by an investment firm called West Invest for around $2.8 million.
Okay.
In 1985, that was huge money. Even now, it's huge money. And then, after a gap of 9 years, in 1994,
just a minute, a pause there, because this could be interesting for students. Jupiter Saturn, if you want to know, the key there is one, if you use the Nichabanga Raja Yoga, we get that simply because these are the two planets involved in the Nichabanga. So together when they rule, you experience the Nichabanga Raja Yoga, a sudden rise. Okay. But other than that, even if you don't bring in the Nichabanga, you would have still got it because Saturn is right in the middle of the fifth house as the fifth lord. Right? It is in the fifth. So the strength of this fifth house is the basis for all his achievements, right? The fifth lord in the fifth. So this is the reason why you got that result in Saturn period.
Saturn,
and you also see Saturn was highly qualified in Vimshopaka because he's got a 16 out of 20, right? Is standing very tall.
What was that word you said, Guruji? Ati.
It's not Ati Purna, it is just
Ati,
Purna.
just one degree.
Just one point less than that. 17.5 is Ati Purna. This is just Purna. Okay. So you got a very high score there. But if you bring in Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga concepts, you say that there's a Bhanga and these two people together gave it to him. Okay. You can say these things, without from whichever ways you want.
That is what even I suspect.
Yeah.
I mean, till he reached Saturn Bhukti inside Jupiter Dasha, at that time, till that time, it was still like going around normally, and then when he reached the Saturn Antardasha,
it's a transformation. Huge
transformation, huge, very huge. And in 1994, that is when we see Jupiter Mars. Please make a note of this second graha, the Bhukti of Antardasha of Mars. He engaged in real estate business.
Okay.
And the first thing that he bought was an apartment, 20 apartments building. Where in central Norway, that is in a place called Oslo, OSLO.
Yes, Oslo. Yes.
Oslo. Okay. And then he founded his own concern by the name Fridensborg AS. I'm not pronouncing it rightly, I think. And this corporation or empire that he built owns more than 27,000 apartments across Scandinavia.
Oh my God.
In Tamil, சொல்லணும்னா ஒரு வீடு ரெண்டு வீடு இல்ல 27,000 வீடுகள், 27,000 houses and apartments rather. And since 2020, the company has been investing even in real estate outside his country on foreign property.
Okay.
And they further acquired 1,732 apartments as recent as in 2020. Okay. So, Manojji, are you there?
And a very important point here is Saturn in D10 chart is exalted. Right? And that exaltation happens in the 4th house. So you can see that.
In D10 right? Also we see the 4th lord in the 5th, and in D1 also we see 4th lord in the 5th. So if we all remember, Manojji was making one statement. Was he a registrar or did he recently buy property? I kept silent because had I told him the answer, people would have guessed it. Because I kept this question as to what was his nature of income. The nature of income is rental income and also property-based investments. And on top of that, he's also an adventure person. He goes for skiing and he sets world record for many sports actually. Guruji, you mentioned sports, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just came to know he is also in sports. I think at that time I said no, but I take it back. Extremely sorry.
Okay.
So he is also a sports person. And
in what game?
He's in skiing.
Oh, okay.
And then he also has expeditions. Manojji?
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to take a break for a minute.
Yeah. I was talking about what you said. You said, did this person recently visit the register office for buying property?
Manoj, you would have visited 27,000 times for registration.
No, sir. The first thing I asked is whether this person is dealing with real estate or registration.
Yeah,
but the exact question that you repeatedly asked is about that Nadi thing you said, right? About whether he visited during the transit, using transit. But even without transit, you see the Jupiter Saturn, Guruji mentioned just a few minutes back, I don't know whether you were there at that time, that it's a huge Raja Yoga. And here it's also the lordship of Jupiter and Saturn that is also playing a part in this nature.
Kendra Trikona connection in a Trikona Kendra is a big Raja Yoga, right? But see, but then after that you give dignity to the yoga. You say Saturn is so strong in Vimshapaka. And even in average, I think if you did with Shadbala and Vimshapaka, it's got strong. But in D10, the 410 axis was loaded. I should have stated, I remember I told you even when the D10 was not shown, I said the D10 410 is loaded, right? So in that you have Saturn and Mercury, then we have Moon and Rahu there. Okay. So I was thinking he built an empire out of something, but And I knew it was not political, right? It was not anything to do with.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Many of
yeah,
those predictions were
yeah,
right. Analysis
yeah,
was right. So,
yeah,
I mean, you guessed that there was a power, but you also said that he is not connected with the actual power that we see. Like political
yeah,
power or
yeah, yeah. It is not that. Yeah, it's
official
another
power.
kind. Yeah, this
This is a
becomes.
different type.
Yeah, this is a different kind of landlord's power. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of good things. The basic thing premise here is that Venus in the 8th is considered as a very powerful placement for wealth.
Hmm.
Likewise, Moon in the 2nd, 11th Lord in the 2nd, and then Jupiter Saturn conjunction and Sun Mercury conjunction. That is Buddha Tithya.
Okay.
Huge benefits.
See, along with all those points, the third house having so many spore makes him very courageous.
Yeah,
That
that
is
Guruji mentioned, and he went on to say he was also a sports person, but at that time I was not aware of it. So that also comes true. Third Lord in the 12th. Any reason why it's a skiing? Anybody can answer that?
Again, Saturn connection.
Skiing. Skiing is basically connected with the legs, right?
Legs, yeah. 12th house.
Legs as well as like
the
the eyes thing.
Eyes also.
Yeah.
Saturn is eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
And third Lord in the 12th.
The cold.
Connected with the legs.
Jupiter, 4th house, Sagittarius, mountains.
Mardani, we are not able to hear you.
Yeah, you're away from the mic.
Sorry. 4th house, Sagittarius, lording by Jupiter, and Sagittarius referring to the mountain also. And he is with Saturn. Saturn eyes Jupiter, Sagittarius mountains, so can be to ski.
Okay. Nice chart anyway.
I mean, exceptional. If you look at the amount of property he owns, I was actually going round and round in circles, digging out what made the chart so powerful.
And again, Uncle, another point is, when I entered, I saw these two things. One is ascendant being in Sun, and Lagna Lord is in Rahu's Nakshatra. That makes him very authoritative. At the same time, Rahu gives Brahmandan thoughts, big thinking.
Yes.
So obviously, he's not going to be like, okay, I'm fine with 2 apartments, 3 apartments. No, I want 1,000.
Give me more.
No, one of the big yogas is actually 11th and 2nd connection, right?
Yes, yes.
So the moment I saw that, we know that from Bhrigu Sutram also, that's quite different. Moon in the 2nd.
Very, very big. 11 2nd, and we see in the other chart, we saw 4th and 5th in the... there was a connection there also. Yeah, 4th Lord and 5th Lord in the 11th.
Correct.
In the other chart.
Moon was Vargotama in many things, right? We noticed that in the beginning. So that 11th Lord in the 2nd is what prompted me to say something about that is very powerful, but not necessarily connected to the king, but lucky, right? Because when you have so many buildings, you become part of the the nation itself. You understand? So many houses are under your control.
Yes.
You're almost a politician, but not a politician.
So Venus in the 8th, can we say as a common factor, Guruji? For wealth purpose.
I think you could have, by looking at overall chart, you could have figured that out. Instead of saying...
The only thing similar is the Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions and the connection between 11th, 2nd and Sun Mercury in Gemini.
Correct.
Kishorji, what is the name of the other person?
The other person name is...
who bought it, right?
John,
That
yeah.
2.5.
No. He was the one who helped him actually. He's connected with him as a business partner. And
correct.
His name
The
is
turning
John.
point.
Yeah, John Petter Collier.
Okay.
John, J and John, Petter, Petter.
Okay. Could be pronounced Jan also.
He's a financier actually, a Norwegian big time financier.
Yeah.
He also owns brokerage houses.
Okay. In those Scandinavian countries, the J usually gets pronounced as like a ya.
Yeah.
Can you show the aspect table on houses? Though you are showing the the planetary aspects
Here it is.
on planets. Yeah. Oh, it's on the top, is it? Okay. Okay. Anything standing or something? Saturn. Okay, since we know the hero is Saturn, why don't you look at Saturn from top to bottom? Saturn looks at second house 90 marks, seventh house 96, Labha 96. You see that? Once you know the main yoga producing graha, like Saturn, you see second house 90, seventh house 96, and 11th house of gain 96. So the big time gain was all in Saturn, right?
Turnaround was in Jupiter Saturn.
Yeah, that's what that Saturn period contributed. So too many things about Saturn now. Okay, then in that case, why don't you look at Saturn at the bottom, where planets are looking at Saturn? Who are looking? Sun is
Saturn
looking
is
at.
looking at talking
No.
about Saturn
No.
receiving aspect?
Receiving.
Then this line. Okay.
Saturn receiving from Sun, Moon. At least Moon is important for us, right? Because Moon is already slated to be his income. So Moon is looking. Mercury is looking. Mercury's 10th lord is looking. Now do the reverse. Saturn is looking at whom?
Moon.
Moon again. Oh, there is a Moon, Saturn. Moon on Saturn is 71 and Saturn on Moon is 95.
Saturn on Moon is actually very powerful.
We missed that, right? We missed that because now the fifth lord connects to the 11th in the second house of properties.
Wow.
Second house is actually assets. Not the way you live in a house is fourth house, but assets is actually second house. Anything that you have in your bureau, almara, all your papers, all the documents, your gold, your everything at one shot becomes the second house. Your kutumba.
Would it also be rental income, Guruji? Income from passive income like?
No. It can be anything. At least we know that Saturn is playing a role there, right? So it takes some time, to work on these things to figure out. In a real consultation, it won't happen like this because they're going to ask you the questions, right? So we don't have to searching for a needle in a haystack type. But the moment you know the background, it's so easy to look for a point somewhere. You want to search. Now we missed that Saturn, the lord of the fifth, heavily connected to the 11th house factors. Whenever 5-11 connection happens, it is one of the big luck yogas. The fortune base, because fifth is Purva Punya and 11th is gain. 5-11 connection, which happens in most of the sports people or entertainment people, those who make a lot of name and fame. He must be famous, right? Anyway, with all this in the background.
But I searched for his for their personal life, but no details are forthcoming from the internet. I mean, in today's age, at least we should be knowing something about even their the wife, the spouse, the children. Nothing has come so far. Strange.
I think it should be normal only because UL is having a Venus, right?
I would go so far to say this person is not married also, because of the affliction in the 12th house.
No. I think he's married.
Probably a love marriage.
Huh?
7th lord and the 5th.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a love marriage.
But he's having Kujar dosha.
Yeah, we'll leave that. Yeah. Anyway, it was a very interesting chart, right? So we had a wonderful session. This is a very strange kind of reading where you connect to the person who transformed his life as a second chart. But I was thinking that there is some astrological more connections, but we couldn't see that. But at least they were connected, right? At least because he was a very important person in this person's life.
Yes, and both were very wealthy charts.
But I was just thinking, what if his Lagna was a little behind that could have made
The
him
other
the
chart.
same. The other chart. And then that could have made this chart the same, right? This chart is having the Lagna in Kanya. Even the other person is also Kanya. And we could have got a lot of similarities because of that.
Hmm.
I mean, we
Then
missed
Saturn
it
would
by,
be in 12th.
some similarities we could have got. Anyway, that's not the point. Something happened to this guy, right? And when Manoj also pointed out, the beginnings are bad, right? Because
When he said,
you are down in the first. You're selling newspapers,
yes.
and look at the audio things are actually third house stuff, right? It's audio things are third house. So some third house connection, but I'm still not able to figure out that the Lord is in the 12th. That was the only minus that I was not able to,
But it's
really,
in a friendly sign, no, Guruji?
at least in a friendly sign. Yeah. Okay.
And that would also mean like income from foreign investments or something, because it's also 8th Lord.
Okay.
Sudden rise in income. And that sudden transformation was a big one, right? Selling newspapers to becoming $1 million empire, multi-million-dollar empire.
Yeah.
Not easy for normal people to come to have this sort of an experience. And then going on to own so many apartments. Wow.
So, Uncle and Guruji, see, here is where I feel the attitude of the person matters more. Because if the attitude if he's a person who's thinking big, of course, and if the chart is supporting, it's going to connect.
I was wanting to say that the Saturn Moon conjunction, when Guruji said, it sounded like a Saturn Moon conjunction is like that Punarpu, they say, usually they say it's a negative thing, sort of a thing. But here, it gives stress, right? But here, that stress became positive. So that is one take I can say from this chart.
Yeah, you can, you don't have to take it like conjunction is the same as aspect. Okay, it's not exactly the same.
Sambandha. Yeah, Sambandha. The word is Sambandha.
Yeah.
So here I would say this is also a positive direction that this person took. Probably a lot of Purva Punya that is in place. He didn't go berserk in that Rahu Dasha. Usually in teenagers period, Rahu Dasha takes you in the wrong path most of the time.
I always think that the 511 connections are usually a sign of good luck. Because I was just thinking about how much of attention a sports person gets, how much of attention a movie star gets. It's something very different, right? Inventors get, songwriters get, dancers get, something quite different. So I think 511 connection is what has made, but then the same 511 got connected to the 4th indirectly because the 4th Lord was with the 5th Lord. And in a Nichabanga Raj Yoga, right? I think Obama also has Saturn and Jupiter together in the same place.
Yeah, he's born in same year, Guruji. That's the reason.
Yeah, in the 1st house.
Okay.
Yeah, and Obama became the prime minister. Sorry, the president of US as the 44th president. He became the 44th president, and that is again Saturn's number. And he was an odd man out, right? The one, the first of his kind to become the president of USA. So the Nichabanga worked even for him, right?
How 44 is connected to Saturn, Guruji?
4 + 4, 8.
Oh, okay.
And he was an odd man out, right? I don't want to bring in the terms.
Yeah.
Okay.
And from the Moon Lagna, we have Gajakesari.
From Moon,
I don't know if that could be applied here.
You can.
Moon and Jupiter.
You can, but the rules for Gajakesari, pure Gajakesari is it should be in Kendra, again from Lagna also, or benefic should be connected to Jupiter and no malefic should be connected.
Yeah,
there are some rules like that. Look, it's okay.
Not a pure.
We can, it's not a real, Gajakesari, but we can say that at least the Nichabanga is accepted.
But Guruji, one thing is the other chart which we had this, I think Lagna Sandhi, right? So I was looking into the profile of the other person. It matches if it's, as you said correctly, it matches if he is Kanya Lagna only, because he's also a banker, financier. and a businessman.
Oh. That's what, whenever it is in the border, it leads to confusion. The moment I see a border Lagna, I lose interest in reading the chart, because I always think, what if it was behind, we are wasting our time. But we still got something. But I think anyway, this is the main chart, right? At least we got enough. This was quite interesting, right? We shouldn't. So we'll catch up again. So thanks, Kishorji and Gautam, Manoj and Sai, all the active people, Karthik. But I think I should thank everybody who remained till the very end, right? A lot of people remained for a long time without going away. So we'll catch up again coming Friday.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you to everyone who participated.
But before that, Mardini has a very interesting chart. I hope to do it on Friday. Okay?
Okay, Guruji. Definitely.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you,
Hari
Kishore.
Om, Guruji. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji.